Welcome to the desert, ladies and gentlemen. We're here in Arizona. We are here at Phoenix for not the oval, but the road oval course here. And well, I'm going to break my duck. I'm here for the first time. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here on iRacing Live, brought to you by Apex Racing TV. Jake Sparey, Conrad Venter, and firstly, gotta talk so crucially here about this championship. This is rounds 31 to 33 of your championship tonight, and the gap at the top, 20 points in Pete Newman's favour.
Yeah, Diego Melro has been chiseling away at that lead for quite a long time now, and it's got it down to 20 points. If he keeps going the way he's going, we might need to look at tiebreaker situations and what the rules are on that.
Yes, at the moment, tiebreaker is most wins, and after most wins, it comes down to who has the less incident points, and incident points at the moment state that it is 33 in favour of Diego Melro right now. So Melro technically in the prime position in that respect. Both of them are the only two drivers to have completed all 455 laps so far. As we look at the team's championship very quickly, there you can see massive gap to the Kumo team there on who are 1,417 behind. Titles decided in that respect, but there are still fights to go on, Conrad, especially when you look further down and you look at what is the Tartan Lassies, the Highlanders and Bermuda, all within very close proximity.
Yes, it's not very much. It's about 300 points, just over 300 points separating the whole lot of them. So we've got a bit of a depleted field here tonight, so there's an opportunity to score some good points as well.
Yes, most certainly. You can see qualifying is underway right now, 10 minutes. And of course, you do have the opportunity to finish your lap in this sort of session, where you can see exactly who's going to be going around. Big shout out here to Nathaniel Simpson in the number 32 machine right now, heading himself through NASCAR 3 and 4. He has just given birth to a brand new child, and we give massive congratulations from everyone here at Apex Racing for him becoming a father for the first time. And well, he comes across the line, does a 59.893. He goes a little bit quicker, but does not gain any positions there into 5th. Conrad, a huge congratulations to him, of course, but you do have to remember that has completely eaten into all his practice time, and you feel he's a little bit underprepared.
Well, I can sympathise with him. I know exactly where he's coming from. I've got two of my own, and we saw him just running a little bit wide in turn 1, and yeah, sleep deprivation might be playing a big part in his racing tonight.
Yes, most certainly. Julian Janowski then in the 100 machine. He has just put his car up onto the front row, 59.189, and well, you have to argue that if he had been finishing all those first races, he could have been up there fighting for a championship. They can see heading himself now through the right-hander, and now a left-hander even, and now an even slower left-hander, leading into the big right-hander, which is almost 270 degrees a la China, you could say, a la the Shanghai racing circuit. And now you can see into the left-hander, small kink, and then you head back up onto the oval, into this slow hairpin left, which wants to eat you in and spit you out up onto the curb. You can see he runs all the way up near the blue wall on the outside, and then he's got NASCAR 3 and 4. Julian Janowski here has been bumped down already, back into 4th position right now. Times are coming in thick and fast, Conrad. Julian Janowski, he has all the opportunity in the world to show why he's the best again.
And he's been really on it since Spa. He's been performing really well, and he was fastest in practice earlier on as well. So, yeah, good opportunity for him. And like you say, he's, was it not for him missing 3 races earlier in the season, he might have been well up there competing with Pete Newman and Melro for the title.
Yes, most certainly. Pete Newman, speak of the devil, looking to come across the line right now in the number 10 machine. Does only a 59.2. He does not go quicker. There you can see right now as we look further back here. Diego Melro here, heading himself around NASCAR 3 and 4. Currently on pole at the moment with a 3/10 margin. Heads himself down onto pit lane. And that's very crucial, Conrad. If anybody does decide to go down pit lane, it does look very slow. It's very difficult to get out of pit lane because it's right on the racing line. And also, it's a very slow pit lane of just 30 miles an hour.
I was looking at that a little bit earlier on, and I saw somebody coming out of the pits and then pulling over to the grass on the left-hand side immediately. And that's only when I noticed that, they emerged out of the pits straight onto the racing line. So if somebody goes a lap down and comes back out, they're going to have to be very aware. It's almost like the pit exit around Charlotte Road Course. Very much the same thing. Very much the same thing indeed. And well, someone surprisingly down the order right now is that
number 40 machine right now. That is Kip the Hairflick Stevens at the moment, who finds himself in all sorts of positions right now. 11th to be precise, and he's only done a 1 minute .135. So we're looking at around 21 minutes here to sort of suggest a lap time around a circuit like this, and this is certainly going to be very interesting to look out for as the lap times start coming in. And well, Jack McIntyre, another Bermuda driver, he's going to head to the line for his first lap. Let's see what he can do. Answer doesn't set a lap time just yet, but Conrad, we're going to stay with him because he has the potential to be something special, as he is the Nürburgring Nordschleife world record holder.
Well, that's certainly a title that you can put it somewhere on the card to display. It's no mean feat. People are doing fast laps around the Nordschleife day in and day out. But we know Jack to be a very quick driver, and he's performed very well in the races that he's done in the series so far. So he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on.
Yes, most certainly. You can see as he heads himself now down towards turn 11 on circuit here, the slow left-hander here as he heads himself now onto the banking once again. Of course, this being known for the Phoenix International Raceway, this being known mainly for its NASCAR circles, but you can see right now as they head themselves through turn 12, turn 13, NASCAR 3 and 4, his drive to the line. We're going to see it again as the clock's ticking down. 2-minute warning coming up. Comes across the line and he does a 58.8. He goes P2, and Jack McIntyre now starts to put the pressure on. And there are many drivers who can put the pressure on at the moment. You can see everyone just trying to get quicker and quicker and quicker. Let's look at Cesare Rizzo here, Conrad, who is the final guy inside of the 59-second mark. Here he's on a 59.783 at the moment. He is P11 as it stands. 59.865 doesn't go quicker.
Hey, there's a quick note on Jack McIntyre that we were talking about a minute ago. If you look at the standings, and if this series was decided on average points per race, Jack McIntyre would actually be leading it. So just another little feather in his cap, and it shows how well he performs when he does race.
Yes, most certainly. Remember, he led the championship after round 3 at the Nürburgring, and well, didn't show up for Okayama, and that is when Pete Newman has held the championship and hasn't relinquished it since. Right now, you can see Jack McIntyre again came across the line, 58.787, still can't find a way past Diogo Melro. So Melro sitting not so comfortable now, and he'll be having to put in those lap times to get himself sorted. And well, you can see right now everyone trying to gear up. The 1 minute warning is coming, Conrad, and now surely everyone looking to try and get themselves in time to cross that start finish line.
Yeah, and I'm sure Diogo Melro will have a firm eye on teammate Pete Newman. That as the person he's racing with, he's not really competing with anybody else at this stage of the season.
Yes, most certainly. Diogo Melro has actually just collided with the turn 1 barrier, thus he will not be able to get out and complete a lap to do a new one. He is done, and that is a fatal error as everyone else now starts to try and set up and wind up for that final lap. Roy Vervaeke here as he drives to the line in the number 30. Can he do anything about it? Answer at the moment is going to be an affirmative 59.873. No, cannot do it yet. He's still looking to try and find that special time. Janoski's come to the line. 59.1, not going to happen. Dankert to the line. Can he go quicker? No, not for the time being. You just got to keep looking back, looking back, looking back. We're looking for the magic numbers here. The clock's ticking down. I believe the final car that's going to be over the line is Adam Hadfield as he rounds NASCAR turn 4 right now and comes to the line. He's 4th at the moment. He could go quicker. Answer 59 flat. Oh, yes, he does. He goes 3rd at the moment. And now the time is out. Kip Stevens will be the first man to cross the line. He's down in 13th and not on a very quick lap. Let's see if he goes any quicker. Answer is no. He does not go quicker. That is a shock. Vervaeke and McIntyre are driving for the line. Let's see what they do. Let's look at Jack McIntyre's perspective then. He's the car who's 2nd at the moment. He needs to find a few thousandths right now in order to put himself up on that pole position. And by Jove, does he want to deserve it? And Jack McIntyre will drive for the line. 58.782! Oh, he finds 5 thousandths, but 5 thousandths ain't enough. Max Wright driving for the line. Can he do anything? He's back on a 59.247, and well, he doesn't want to be that slow, but I think he's given up on the lap time. Answer is yes, he has, because he's crawled to a slow. Everyone's done. This is your grid right now for round 31 of your BSR MSA Kia World Series here on iRacing Live by Apex Racing TV. this is how qualifying went. So in the end, Diogo Melro will put his car on pole position on a 58.763. He is just ahead of Jack McIntyre, the Nürburgring Nordschleife world record holder. Adam Hadfield will put his car third on the second row, with Julian Janowski there in fourth. Roy Vervaeke fifth, with championship leader Pete Newman off the pace a little bit in sixth place, with Lewis Bibby seventh and Max Wright in eighth. Nathaniel Simpson, the man with a new child, there in ninth, with Lorne Murray rounding out the top 10. And there you can see Jurg Danker, Cesare Rizzo, and also Kip Stevens, Jason Greenfield, Alex Kite, and George Ratchis, the newcomer, not setting a lap. So, very interesting to see what is going to go on here, Conrad, as the cars are going to grid. Do you think that Pete Newman's maybe sandbagging at all? Or do you think that he's going to be looking to get up there and out and going for the next race?
Well, I certainly hope he hasn't been sandbagging. He's put himself right in the middle of the pack there, and I mean, with a turn one here, that resembles something very much like Daytona. It's not a place we really want to be. I mean, Diego Malro has done exactly the right thing, putting himself on the front row with a clear line of sight into turn one, and not having to worry about too much other than the cars behind them to get through the corner. Yes,
most certainly. Pick for your race win?
I think Jack McIntyre has been looking very quick. We've discussed this, so I'm going to pick him for the win.
Oh, very good shout there. I'm going to go with Adam Hadfield here in third. He knows that both his teammates aren't here, Alex Everett and Stephen Hall, so we'll see what the Kumare driver can do on his very own. Just waiting for a couple of cars to grid up. That is Jack McIntyre and Roy Vervaeke, of course. 2 minutes to grid up here in this opening race, and then we'll be away for 20 minutes of non-stop action here around Phoenix. It's certainly going to be very interesting to see. There you can see both cars gridded up. Everyone's on the grid. Now we're just waiting for those lights on top of the iRacing gantry to turn from red to green, and you can see engines revving. Lights are off. We are underway here on round 31, and Jack McIntyre gets a stormer, and so does Pete Newman as they drive for turn number one. Outside line, here comes for Pete Newman, but you can see already a fantastic getaway as Melro almost collects the wall, and Pete Newman looking for second here on his own teammate. Hadfield gets a massive slide as they head through. Are they all safe and unscathed? Answer is yes, they have all got through cleanly, which is the most crucial fact. But for the time being, you can see this battle for third holding up, Conrad. You can see right now just how Pete Newman wants to get involved. Hadfield, Janowski and Melro all there, but Jack McIntyre is romping away already.
Diego Melro had an awful start there, and nearly lost it going into the braking zone for turn one as well. So his heart would have been extremely quickly going through that corner, and just to make things even worse for him, he's got Pete Newman, who's starting sixth place, right behind him.
Yeah, you can see Pete Newman had a stellar start, and now you got to look behind as well, because there is Julian Janowski having a lovely little scrap with Adam Hadfield here in the battle for fourth place on circuit right now as they ran themselves through to open the first lap. This is how things look. It's McIntyre, it's Melro, Newman, Hadfield, Janowski, Vervaeke, Bibby there as well, and now you can see everyone trying to work their way through into turn one, and Melro runs a little bit wide. They're sliding his car through, and now Pete Newman, he's left the door open. There's contact between him and Hadfield turns around from Janowski as well. Janowski across the track, and he finds the barrier, and that's not ideal. Hadfield drops 2 more positions, and already the fireworks are starting, Conrad. It's all about that championship, but more importantly, Pete Newman retains third.
I don't think Janowski is going to be a happy boy after that. Adam Hadfield getting into a few cars there, even on the way through. I think he tagged for Vervaeke as well. But yeah, they both went through that one unscathed. But yeah, Pete Newman, very scary moment for him.
Very scary moment for Pete Newman here, and where you can see just how everyone's struggling. Julian Janowski is practically out of your motor race right now, and he will not be happy at all. And where you can see right now the battle's going on up and down your field here. Battle going on further down right now is this one heading up for 10th place, is it at the moment? No, it's going to be a little bit more of a shuffle. It's for 9th actually and 10th. It's Lorne Murray and Kip Stevens right now, the 70 and the 40, as they head themselves down in towards turn number one. You can see the cars locking up their brakes, and well, that's actually a very important point here, Conrad. That turn one is going to be so difficult on those front tyres. You're going to see wear rates a lot higher than you would at other circuits.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming off the main straight onto the inner part of the course, and it's just a camber change. And I mean, I'm just looking at the track temperature as well. It's 24 degrees Celsius, which is extremely cold. And I think I mean, they're going to struggle with that for a few laps as well.
Yes, most certainly. You've got to remember that infield is basically a parking lot. If you look just off the racing line, you can see those white lines put in parking grids. And, well, it just shows you just how much it's not run, this infield section here around Phoenix. Of course, NASCAR being the main thing about it. But for the time being, the gaps are developing. And Pete Newman has completely lost touch of his teammate here. He has dropped a full 2 seconds to his teammate. But for the time being, he'll only drop a few points in the championship by that respect. Venter behind, so is Lewis Bibby. Lewis Bibby, very impressive last time out, Conrad. His maiden race win at Summit Point in what was arguably the best race of the season so far. And, well, Lewis Bibby, he has the potential to do it again, and he's showing his pace.
Yeah, I think he gained a lot of confidence from that one. We have to remember he started on pole for that race and drove it from pole to the finish in first place and just pulled away from the battling cars behind them. So definitely a man with a bit of motivation behind him, and it's showing on track.
Yes, most certainly is showing on track. You can see him right now, right behind Roy Venter in the number 30. Of course, Roy Venter, an incredibly quick driver here, and in 30 races here that have gone in this BSR Kia World Series, he's still yet to pick up a race win, which is oh so surprising for a driver of his caliber here, Conrad. And, well, Utam was a very good driver. Maybe, just maybe, it's a curse of the commentator as he runs a little bit wide into turn 1.
Oh, yeah, Nathaniel Simpson. Oh, he's completely lost it. Nearly hit the wall on the inside of turn 1, tried to avoid it, and then spun out towards the outside. And, yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, about maybe just birth of a newer baby, a bit of lack of practice, lack of sleep, lack of concentration.
Yeah, it just seemed to me that he just lost the car under braking there, just trying to ease it into that turn 1 corner, which just slows down further and further and further, and then he lost the back end in a snap oversteer moment, and that's dropped him behind his own teammate Jurg Dankert right now. So, bit of a promotion for a few guys in the field, but the gaps have opened up early on here in your motor race. We have just crossed the 5-minute barrier right now. Jack McIntyre is soaring away with this one at the moment, and he is showing what he could have done here at the moment with everything being aligned in that respect. They can see battle for third still going on. Pete Newman, Roy Venter, Lewis Bibby, all line astern at the moment, but no one's really been close enough to make a move, and that is so crucial here around a circuit which is so tight and twisty. You can't utilise the top speed around here, but naturally, as you see, Pete Newman has to take an incredibly tight line through that very difficult 270-degree right-hander there, hairpin. It's so difficult to get it right, and once you get it wrong at one part of this section, you get your run wrong for 4 or 5 corners, Conrad.
Yeah, it's almost like the first sector around Kota. If you get offline just a little bit, you struggle the whole way through just to get it back. And yeah, I think one thing we have to keep in mind is tire wear as well. This might just be one where they sit and wait a little bit, and we might just have to wait for it to play out a little bit before we see the fireworks towards the end of the race.
Yes, most certainly Julian Janowski has got himself back out on circuit, but he is 1 lap down. It is so crucial for him to stay 1 lap down, because if he falls 2 laps down, he will not be at the front of the grid then for the next race of the night, which will be straight after this one, of course. Don't forget, we're here for 3 races tonight here on iRacing Live, and, well, there's certainly quite a few things you need to get there as Pete Newman runs incredibly wide down at the hairpin, and he has brought Roy Venter back into the fray as he heads himself now into this small kink left and heading himself for turn 11 now, the brake zone into the left-hander. They come along to enter the oval once again, NASCAR 3 and 4, and you can see just how Pete Newman here has recovered from that one there, Conrad, because he's got that gap established once again of half a second.
Yeah, he managed to get it back there, but I mean, it's a corner that's gonna play a major role. You miss your braking point, just run a little bit wide, and I mean, the guy behind you is going to be right on top of you coming onto the oval, with the possibility of looking at an overtake into turn 1. It should be interesting at least.
Yeah, certainly. I'll tell you what is interesting about turn 1. It reminds me quite a lot of like Sunset Bend at Sebring. You can take a million lines, but you don't know which one will be the fastest overall, as you can see right now, heading themselves now into this next left-hander and into that 270-degree right, as stated previously. A lot better there from Pete Newman as he gets himself back on the power and pushes himself through there with Roy Venter and Lewis Bibby behind. And, well, the gaps otherwise have started to open up. We haven't seen any close wheel-to-wheel battling, basically, as we see Jason Greenfield take to the grass there into turn number 1, gets a big mistake and allows Cesare Rizzo to close up just a little bit in the battle at the back of the field, Conrad.
Yeah, Jason Greenfield we've all been willing him on for the night to get into the sub 1 minutes. At the moment, fastest lap time for 1 minute point 4, and yeah, hopefully for him he can get into a bit of a battle with Rizzo and give him a bit of airtime as well.
Yes, most certainly here at the moment. We're still going to have to focus on this battle for third going on. Gap at the front has opened up to 3.6 seconds at the moment. So it is all down at the moment to Jack McIntyre walking away with one. And you can see here just how this battle for third is shaping up. It just seems that everyone just can't get themselves close enough. It's almost like dirty air or something like that you'd normally see in open wheel racing. But it just seems to be this effect that nobody can just get that run, Conrad, to get themselves close enough.
I think it's very difficult with the type of corners you have around this track. It's almost, a lot of the corners, you come out of one corner straight into the next one. And you get on the brakes just a little bit too late, and you end up in the gravel, and you're barking yourself up and looking for a pain display meter.
Yes, most certainly here as we look at Nathaniel Simpson in the 32, the man with the newborn baby, and well, he is right behind Lorne Murray and Kip Stevens right now. Found his way through on Dankert, and now he is looking to push himself as he heads towards turn number 1. Gap across the line between those two is a full 2 tenths. Had a look down to the inside, and well, Lorne Murray had no choice. He had to leave the room. Didn't want to risk running it off down the oval turn 1 and 2, but no, the room was given, and Murray has to relinquish the place to Simpson. Simpson on the recovery drive. He now moves himself up to 9th, and next up for him, Conrad, is Kip the Hairflick Stevens.
Yeah, and you only have to look at that line that Simpson took through turn 1, running through a couple of the pit boxes for the NASCARs. And that's exactly what we were talking about earlier when we said, the pit exit is coming straight onto the racing line. Yeah, you don't want a car coming out of the pits and all of a sudden you're finding a car going at 30 miles an hour and you have to negotiate your way around them.
Yes, most certainly. Right now, look at the 103 of Lewis Bibby right now. He has fallen off the back of Pete Newman and Roy Viveka right now, and actually coming into his own is a very slidey car of Max Wright. They both take an incredibly wide line through turn 1 and 2, and now heading themselves into 3 and 4 right now. It seems just for the time being, Max Wright is looking a little bit desperate right now. And we've seen Max Wright doing. Actually, that looks like a slowdown penalty. Yes, you're right there, Conrad. Lewis Bibby drops the position.
Now, I'm just going to have a look back. I think he might have flattened the wall. Yes, he did indeed. Just taking a little bit too much of that left-hander before he got overtaken and damaged the car. It looks like he's got some steering problems as well.
Oh, that's the last thing Lewis Bibby wanted. He did well to slow the car down to avoid any further incident. And well, oh dear me, he'll have to fall down the field. We've got to look further back now. Simpson and Stevens, this one's going to flare up. It's going to say it could happen any time now as they head themselves through NASCAR 3 and 4. And it's so important to get that set. Of course, you can run the apron here in this race, but it just doesn't seem to be the quicker move as you use the banking to just get yourself a little bit quicker. You can see just how close to the wall Nathaniel Simpson gets as they head towards turn number 1, and he's looking, Conrad, and actually as Pete Newman, no, Kip Stevens runs very wide. You can see right now just how much Nathaniel Simpson is hounding the back of that Bermuda machine.
Yeah, you can also see how much time you're losing if you get a bit out of shape going into one of these corners and you're trying to recover. And just over 8 minutes to go, I think we're going to start seeing tyre wear play a role as well.
Yes, most certainly. Kip Stevens has been a driver who has been struggling with tyre wear in the last couple of races. It's meant that he has dropped a few positions. Brandt Hatch was a prime example of him being up there fighting for the podium and then slipping back down through the order. And now you can see ever closer now is Nathaniel Simpson. He stayed right on the back throughout the entirety of that lap and now looking to run the oval. Might have to do it the long way around, or he is going to wait for turn 1. You can see he's running low, he's looking to go high, he's looking to dummy him. It's so difficult through that section to get it right, and well, he's going to have a look. He's right underneath that slipstream, down and towards turn number 1 comes the car of Nathaniel Simpson, and he makes that one look very comfortable as he goes through the field. And actually, you got to look at Lewis Bibby. He's really struggling right now, Conrad. He's got Adam Hadfield behind him with the Lucky Clover on top of his roof. He's doing everything in order to close him down.
I think Lewis may be recognizing it. If he's going to take a pit stop now to get that damage repaired, he's going to go at least a lap down. And not really wanting to do that, I think he's struggling majorly to keep that car on the track.
Yeah, I think he is as well. You can see him going through that right-hander there, very close to that barrier once again, as they head themselves once again through NASCAR 3 and 4 on their 13th lap, looking to start their 14th lap here at this circuit known as Phoenix. And well, we have 2 more races tonight, both reverse grids, so make sure you stay around for that one. But for the time being, Adam Hadfield closing that gap. You can see he runs very wide down to turn number 1, struggling on the braking there. A bit of a lock-up from Hadfield. There's contact between the two, and they're going to slide in stereo, but they keep it together for the time being. And well, you can see the slowdown then coming up for Lewis Bibby, and that's just a bit of retribution. That is just a bit of bad luck, and that is Murphy's Law, Conrad, because he didn't want that to happen, didn't want the contact, and as a consequence, got the slowdown unfairly, you could ask.
Yeah, I don't think you can really put any blame on any of the drivers. They took different lines through the corner, and Bibby was just looking to sort of run a NASCAR line, a little bit of a V out wide and back in, and Hadfield just took a shallower line, and they came together at one point.
Yes, most certainly. Look at the gap at the front. That has opened out now to 5 seconds here for Jack McIntyre. And as you look further behind, Pete Newman and Roy Vervaeke, that gap has dissipated to a 2-second gap right now. And now you are starting to see all these gaps coming into the fray right now. And well, Julian Janowski actually starting to close down on Jason Greenfield right now here, looking to try and unlap himself. That is always going to be a potential factor here, but for Jason Greenfield, he knows what's looming large in the mirrors. It's a certain Mr. Jack McIntyre.
Yeah, I was just about to say, relatively speaking, is about 1 minute and 53 seconds behind McIntyre, so he's not far off getting lapped for a second time, and that's going to be his main aim, is just to stay that 1 lap down.
Yes, most certainly. You can see as he comes across the line, he has himself about 5 minutes from now in order to try and keep his car ahead. You can see he's running himself through 3 and 4 right now. Jack McIntyre just now heading himself through 3 and 4, so he's got about 5 seconds here to try and recover here. So Jack McIntyre might have a thing in his sights and might just make his life a little bit easier next time by, but you can just see for the moment just how important it is. Just get a look here at your lap times between 2nd and 3rd. Pete Newman did a 59.4 that time by, matched by Diogo Maro, who's 3 seconds ahead. So that one is not going to close down as things stand. But Nathaniel Simpson right now here, Conrad, he's chasing down Lewis Bibby.
Yeah, and he's since he had that little mishap earlier on, he's been right on it, and he's made up quite a few places as well. It's been such a recovery drive. It's 1 place up from where he qualified.
Yeah, most certainly. You can see here just how slow that car is. He's going to have to try and do it the long way around down at the hairpin. Can he do it? No, he's not. He's going to go for the cutback opportunity down onto the NASCAR, and he's going to get the move sorted. Surely has the inside for NASCAR 3 and 4. And well, Nathaniel Simpson putting in moves for the Ministry of Fantastic Overtakes right now, because he's got that one sorted potentially. And here comes Hairflick Kip Stevens, Mr. Consistency, now throws himself into the fray as they go 3 abreast here down towards turn number 1 once again. And again, you can see just how close they are going to be on the brakes. Another puff of smoke there from Stevens' tyres. And now, Conrad, you have to say Lewis Bibby is now starting to struggle on a mistake he costed himself.
Yeah, and I don't think there's much point in him putting up a great fight to keep any positions. He just needs to recognize he's got a damaged car, and fighting too hard can surely cause more incidents. All he needs to concentrate on is hitting his marks and getting to the end.
Yes, you can just see now Jack McIntyre getting past Jason Greenfield. He falls 1 lap down in your motor race right now. And next up for him will be Julian Janowski right now, who is just running. Just look at the lap times, 59.9 compared to a 59.2. That is 0.7 of a second slower with about 4 laps to go. It might happen. It might not happen. That's just something to keep your eyes on. Pete Newman right now here in 3rd position with Roy Vervaeke in 4th. It's one of those things here, Conrad, where you look at Pete Newman, you look at his speed, and you look at just how brilliant he's been off the line in every single race that he's done. It just seems to me that he just hasn't had the raw pace to stay with his own teammate Diogo right now. And the only advantage for him right now is he's just minimising that gap just for the time being.
Yeah, I think it's about damage limitation, but he's been really good at doing that all season long. And you look at the stats that he's turned out. He's got more top 5 finishes than anybody else. He's got more top 10 finishes than anybody else. So consistency has definitely played a big part in this season so far.
Lewis Bibby then has just ran wide through turn number 1. He has lost the position then to Kip the Hairflick Stevens, and his night goes from bad to worse, and we'll be looking to get the recovery in the next 2 races right now. We are into our 3-minute warning right now here. No references to WWE, we promise. Here as they head themselves now through these next stretches of corners right now. We're going to take a look with a lap on board with your race leader right now, because he is absolutely flying and doing everything he needs to do. They can see Julian Janowski in sight as he heads himself towards NASCAR 3 and 4. Conrad, take us through the opening half of the lap.
Well, then we've got him just coming around NASCAR turn 3 and into 4. That's going to bring him down to the start-finish straight. Nice flat bit, unlike Daytona, which is very banked. And then again, we've got a Daytona like turn 1, try and keep it in the middle of the track, just running out a little bit wide, but he's going to make the cut back to get a better line into turn 2, turn 3, bit of a chicane, keeping it nice and tight, and into turn 4, getting it close to the wall as possible, getting on the brakes into turn 5, the left-hander, and then there's another, hugging the curb nicely to get on this little back stretch through turn 7 and 8, and then it's pretty much a straight run, even though there's a kink, to the final corner on the infield section, which is going to bring him back out to that hairpin, which is going to bring him back onto the oval part.
Yes, most certainly when he comes across the line, he will have one more lap of your motor race to go. Just one car has crashed out of this race, and that is the 13 of George Ratchis, which is a shame for the debutant as well. He will drop himself down the field, and well, you have to say at the moment, Jack McIntyre has just romped away. He's shown the pace that he could be up there, and the moment he got through, he's shown his race pace was a lot better than everybody else. Heads himself now in towards the right, now the left, the cutback right, and now as he heads himself through the next left-hander, we don't have any real battles on circuit at the moment as far as my Delta can tell me. So we're going to stay with Jack McIntyre as he rounds the right. I think Janowski's safe and will qualify pole next time by, which will be very disheartening for quite a few people down the field. But McIntyre, 3 corners to go as he hits the hairpin and now starts to climb the banking and heads himself for NASCAR 3 and 4 for the final time in his opening race. Round 31 is going to be Bermuda bound, because Jack McIntyre, a mastery that we have all seen materialise before our eyes. McIntyre wins at Phoenix International Raceway, and well, second place will go to Diogo Mero right now, who will take some valuable points in the Drivers' Championship. Third for Pete Newman, damage limitation. Conrad, Roy Vervaeke fourth, didn't quite work out.
Yeah, I think that that opening battle in the first few laps between Newman, Vervaeke, and I can't remember who else was in there. Just cost them a little bit too much. They ate up the tires, and and the end, the battle that I was expecting to ensue with the tire wear didn't come.
No, it didn't in the end. You just saw the gap start to open up, and maybe, just maybe, it might have to come down to the second and third races to see the fireworks. The first race is always the one where you just see a little bit of calm before the storm with Julian Janowski then. The final car to come across the start-finish line. We can get you now your classified results here from round 31 of your BSR MSA Kia World Series here on iRacing Live and Apex Racing TV, here from Phoenix International Raceway. Jack McIntyre takes the win in the end by 8.1 seconds, convincing over Diogo Mero, with Pete Newman finishing off in third. Roy Vervaeke would finish fourth with Max Wright fifth. Adam Hadfield there, a very strong rally after the opening lap to finish sixth, with Nathaniel Simpson there in seventh with Kip the Hairflick in eighth. Lewis Bibby will finish ninth with Jurg Dank at 10th. Jason Greenfield first of the cars a lap down, along with Cesare Rizzo, Lorne Murray and Julian Janowski. George Ratchis will fail to finish, and Alex Kite will fail to make the start. We're going to bring you in a driver then into your commentary box right now. And the driver we're going to bring for you is the car who has finished in second place tonight, and that is Diogo Maro. Diogo, second place is another interview for you, and well, you get some valuable points on your own teammate and you close that gap. Just how crucial is it just to be that close?
It's very good. We still have a few races left. I need to finish some places of a speed to get real close to him.
Yes, of course you do, and well, of course, you are looking towards races 2 and 3 tonight, and do you think the reverse grid is going to be in your favour?
I'm not sure. That first corner is really hard to make, and I think I almost cut Pete off on the second lap, so let's see.
Let's see indeed, and of course for you, it is a second place. It is so crucial. You are scoring podium after podium after podium. Is your consistency factor one of the qualities that you think is probably one of the best that you have, or are you incredibly happy with your raw pace as it is?
I think it's the consistency, really, and I'm really happy about it.
Oh yes, very much so. Diogo Maro there, second place to date for the Discovery team, but stay tuned with us. Don't go away, because straight after this you will have round 32 of your BSR MSA Kia World Series here on iRacing Live by Apex Racing TV. You don't want to miss it. Don't go away.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it at 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your BSR MSA Kia World Series here on Apex Racing TV, streaming live on iRacing Live. Jake Sparey, Conrad Venter, and well, if you want to come and join this series, if you like a bit of chocolate on your biscuit, then join our club, because the Kia World Series is open right now for new participants. Just head over to the Facebook link in the description below and then get yourself talking to our series admins, and you could be part of this series. Of course, it is £12 for one season, or £3 for every race weekend. And of course, well, join today. If you're brand new to iRacing, you can get 3 months for the price of one with the promotional code PR-BSRTC. And of course, you can get €30 off any JCL sim racing products with the promotional code 5VATA1KA. All codes down in the description as well, and it'll be very interesting to see all the brand new talent that gets along in this respect. Well, Conrad, first race, it was certainly one to look out for. There were quite a few things to put of note, and well, the big one is Jack McIntyre romped away.
Yeah, he took the lead straight off the start and never relinquished it. Yeah, put in some of the fastest lap times, lap after lap, and like I say, he just walked away with it in the end.
Yeah, he did. He really showed that 8 seconds is not something you normally find. You normally see that with a lot of battling, but thing is, Conrad, we didn't really see too much battling in that opening race, and because we didn't see too much battling, it just meant that was pure pace on everyone else that Jack McIntyre had.
Yeah, absolutely, and maybe it's something that he likes, these rolls as we call them. It might be a favorite of him, but he certainly showed a lot of good pace, and it's something that the guys fighting for the championship might be worried about, because he's walking away with points that they could have been scoring.
Yes, most certainly. You do have to remember here that the title is on the line, and of course you saw in that first race, Diego Mero come in and finish second place, Pete Newman finishing third, so damage limitation there for Pete Newman. He only sacrifices a couple of points, but you do have to remember that a couple of points do add up, and there is the chance here, and this is news that is just coming in, that he could potentially miss a race, or possibly even the whole weekend, over at Suzuka.
Yeah, I mean, missing one race will be bad enough. Missing a whole meeting is that's going to settle the issue, really. And it's something I think all of us would like to see go down to the wire, because after this last race, by my calculations, the gap between them should have come down to something around 17 points.
Yes, it should come down to 17 points, so it all starts to get a little bit tighter, and everyone just starts to look over their shoulder, look a little bit more twitchy as they head themselves in towards this next race. Of course, reverse grid is going to be so important. You're going to see the quick guys go to the front. You're going to see the slow guys start falling back. You're going to see the concertina of an accordion happen throughout the field in the opening laps before order gets maintained. So it's going to be difficult for everyone, I think, Conrad, here, especially on a circuit which is so tight as this.
Yeah, normally we've got ample of fireworks in the number 2 and 3 races of the night with the reverse grids. A tight corner like this, especially with guys fighting for a championship and maybe guys looking to make amends for a bad race coming from the back, it's really going to provide a lot of entertainment.
Yes, certainly, and one very quick thing that does need to be noted here is a earlier afternoon session than what normally we would have here for this second race. So temperatures are pretty much similar to the first race, so there isn't really too much adapting that needs to be done from one session to the other, Conrad.
Yeah, well, one advantage this is for the drivers is they know what they're letting themselves in for in those opening laps. We saw quite a few drivers getting it wrong into turn 1. Getting on the brakes a little bit too late, back end coming around and ending up on the grass on the outside of turn 1. Yes,
most certainly we've seen those instances happen. This 10-minute practice session, this short one, is about to be over in 2-1-0. So, in just a couple of seconds' time, we can run you through your classified grid then for what will be the second race of the night, round 32 of the championship here at Phoenix Road. And in just about a second, we have Cesare. No, we don't. We have Yulia Jovsky on pole position there as my thing gets updated a little bit quicker, with Lorne Murray there on the front row alongside. The second row is Cesare Rizzo, which I wrongly stated was on pole, with Jason Greenfield alongside. Dankert 5th, Bibby 6th, Kips the Hairflick Stevens there in 7th, and Nathaniel Simpson 8th. Hadfield 9th, right, 10th for Baker, Newman, Melrose and McIntyre. That is your 14 car grid. We have lost 2 cars in the way. We've lost George Ratchis. We have lost ourselves also Alex Kite. Just waiting for a couple of cars to grid up. Of course, 1 minute this time in these second sessions. Cars will wait to grid up now. It's just for one more driver, and that is Diogo Melrose right now. He is on grid, and we do have engines revving. It's rare to see a standing start on an oval course, but for the time being, engines revving. You can see them, the lights, they're waiting to go out. They do go out. Round 32 is underway, and here we go. Very poor start there in the second place there for Lord Murray. You can see already they're looking to go and fight themselves wide. Hadfield gets a shocker, and so does Diogo Melrose as well as they head themselves down into turn number 1. But Janowski has got that one sorted as they all head themselves in very tight, very understated, very carefully as they look to head themselves around here with not too much dramas to go on. But a poor start from Diogo Melrose. Conrad, there's Pete Newman, is it? Is that Pete Newman going across the track? That's going to be vital. I can't believe I've just seen that. That's Pete Newman who has gone and he's caused an incident earlier on in the race, and he's got to go all the way back and start again, and that has huge implications, Conrad.
Yeah, he's managed to end up on a completely different side of the track. I'll just have a look back and see exactly what happened there. Yeah, but that's a big one.
It's a huge one. It puts him behind Diogo Melrose as well, which is exactly what he wanted. I do need to kind of check on the start once again and see exactly what happened in that respect. Hadfield didn't get off the line, and that caused Melrose to run straight into the back of him. That is a really freaky one. So both Discovery title rivals getting involved. We do need to check here, Conrad, to see if there's any damage on Diogo Melrose's car. I think there might be just a little bit on the front bumper.
I think Simpson's car would be okay. He just got a little nudge from Nathaniel Simpson. Oh, sorry, I said Pete Newman. But yeah, he lost a lot of time by just ending up in an awkward place. But yeah, he should be fine for damage.
Yeah, should be fine, but we've completely neglected the front of the field here. Julian Janowski in the 100 away from Cesare Rizzo, who is stepping up to the plate right now and has Lewis Bibby underneath him for company. Battle for second. We said the fireworks would happen, and they certainly happened just as the lights went out. Surely shows how everyone went along with it, and well, Lewis Bibby just waiting on Cesare Rizzo here to try and make that move, to make that overtake possible, a reality here, and well, he's just waiting for the moment, Conrad, but it just doesn't seem he's quite close enough as they head down in towards turn number 1 and the braking zone that follows.
Yeah, and this is Rizzo's big chance for the season. He's really struggled so far to get a really good result. And yeah, currently in sitting place, he's got Lewis Bibby all over the back of him. But yeah, then a bit of a gap back to Lorne Murray. So if he can just keep it calm and keep hitting his marks, he could be on for a podium here.
Look at Nathaniel Simpson right now. He is under threat. He's got the Bermuda boys behind him, and that is Kip the Hairflick Stevens alongside with Jack McIntyre here as they head on the run down to the hairpin once again. You saw Kip Stevens there have a massive error in towards turn number 1. Had to take to the grass in order to make the corner. Did make the corner in the end, but now you can see through NASCAR 3 and 4 exactly what is going on. You can see the train starting to get themselves together right now. Diogo Melrose is up into 10th position right now, and he has 8 seconds on Pete Newman at the moment. Roy Vervaker in between them, of course, who hasn't had a good start of his own accord right now. And, well, the next car for Diogo Melrose will be Max Wright as we look here further at this train as Jack McIntyre goes to the inside on his own teammate. They get so close there, Conrad. They almost touch, but now they're Noah's Ark, and they're going to remain side by side. McIntyre runs the outside line. A great move, a very great move from a very great driver. Goes for the inside, surely. Outside on Nathaniel Simpson. I'm trying to give it to you, but the action won't let me.
Yeah, it's really difficult hanging it around the outside of that corner. Might have a look as they come up into the airport. No, Simpson actually going a little bit defensive. But then McIntyre will look for the cutback, gets a little bit of a nudge from Kip Stevens behind, and that should actually help him on the exit of the corner. It looks like McIntyre's got this done.
Yes, looks like McIntyre does have it down the inside of Nathaniel Simpson there, the man with the newborn child. And, well, you can see right now Nathaniel Simpson trying everything to stay within slipstream, trying to stay.
Stevens just behind.
Now you can see just how close McIntyre and Stevens are as they head into turn number 1 here, Conrad. Oh, well, you can see it for yourself. Close, no cigar, and you can see McIntyre take the wider line, but I don't think, no, doesn't have the opportunity there, Conrad. Nathaniel Simpson has to wait behind.
Yeah, I think that was Simpson's one chance. We've seen the pace that McIntyre's got around this track, and once he's through, I don't think you're going to find an easy way to get to pass him again.
Yes, well, actually, got to look at Joe Dankert just ahead as well, who's run a little bit wide through that section, and that's going to be a disadvantage here as it bottlenecks up as they head for the hairpin. McIntyre just might have another one. Late on the brakes goes Dankert, but the cutback is so easy to do, and it's a little bit of rubbing of doors, but Dankert's going to drop one. He could potentially drop two to his teammate, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did. You can see he's going to run the high line now throughout this corner, and that might open up Kip Stevens. Of course, the high line not rubbered in compared to the low line. And well, you can see right now, Dankert's starting to struggle, but the gap at the front has opened up. It's opened up to a massive 3.7 seconds. Cesare Rizzo and Lewis Bibby haven't found a way through.
Yeah, Cesare Rizzo is still hanging on to that second place at the moment, barely in front of Lewis Bibby. Julian Janowski, we know what he's like. Once he hits the front, he very rarely relinquishes it. So unless he hits a wall or something goes terribly wrong for him, he should take this. But Lewis Bibby is through on Rizzo.
Rizzo ran wide through that corner, and that has gifted second place to Lewis Bibby, who is incredibly quick in his own right. You can see the run down to the hairpin. Rizzo goes big, goes bold on the brakes, and if he makes that one stick, he's got it, no. But they're going to stay side by side. But NASCAR 3 and 4 at the moment, Bibby is going to have to give that position into second to himself. Because right now, you see Cesare Rizzo looking, trying to run the apron to try and get away through. He might have an opportunity into turn number one. Fantastic battle for second place right now. Looks at the inside, in towards turn number one. Nothing Bibby can do, but he goes later on the brakes. And it's all a battle of wills. And Bibby's going to run it off wide. And he's going to take to the grass. And he's going to lose Murray. He's going to lose, I believe, Jack McIntyre as well. McIntyre is on a rampage right now here, Conrad. He is up into fourth position. You count it, fourth.
Yeah, that's a massive jump considering the track that they're racing on 10 spots from where he started. The other biggest climbers, Diego Melrose, only managed to climb 4.
Yeah, most certainly. And Diogo Mero right now on the back of Max Wright and Kip the Hairflick Stevens. That's going to be one you need to focus on. But look at this, they're side by side. McIntyre and Murray as they head themselves now down towards NASCAR 3 and 4. Got to keep your eyes peeled. We said Jack McIntyre would be there fighting, scrapping, and he's showing exactly what he can do. He is scything his way through the field right now and still has the inside line as they head for turn number 1 on circuit. They come across the line to start their 8th lap to the inside. Goes Jack McIntyre, and he's showing his class as he gets the move sorted and goes up into 3rd position onto the podium. And right now you can say, Conrad, that Jack McIntyre is in a completely different ethereal plane.
It's an amazing drive by him, and he's got Rizzo right in their sights as well. So 2nd place is not out of the question either.
Well, look at Diogo Mero now. He was looking all over the back of Max Wright. Heads onto the brakes, into the right hand, and they come along with 270 degrees. And well, now you can see Max Wright trying to just hold on, try and play the defensive game. At the moment, it is working on Diogo Mero. Mero needs to get through these guys quick because it's not quite happening for them. He still has the other half of the race. But you got to look at Jack McIntyre once again. He's really hounding Cesare Rizzo here as he heads. You can see he runs so defensive. He puts 2 tyres onto the apron in order to sort it out. It unsettles the car, but it hasn't worked. To the inside's McIntyre, and in a repeat of last lap, McIntyre jumps into P2 and shows everyone what he's made of. And only ahead of him now, Janowski, as Murray gets a tap from Lewis Bibby behind and drops 2 positions of his own. Unbelievable right now, and that just looked like Lewis Bibby there trying to give a racer's push.
Yeah, it's something that's not uncommon in the Kias, but yeah, Lewis Bibby sitting in 4th place. He's going to surely have another look at Cesare Rizzo if he can keep Nathaniel Simpson behind him pretty soon.
Yes, most certainly, and as you say that, Diogo Mero has found a way through on Max Wright. He is now up to 8th position on circuit. He's done that down at turn number 1. Next up for Mero will be Kip the Hairflick Stevens, but Max Wright not having any of it. He is going to try and have a look down the inside, but no, it won't materialise at the hairpin. Looks towards NASCAR 3 and 4 right now, and well, you have to say that Diogo Mero, he's got that move sorted at the moment, but you know that Kip the Hairflick Stevens is 2 seconds down the road, and that is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination as you look at Lewis Bibby here and Nathaniel Simpson, Conrad.
Yeah, another important note is that Pete Newman has managed to get past Dankert. He's up into 11th place, so At the moment, it looks like Melrose only going to gain another 3 points if things stay as they are.
Did you just see Nathaniel Simpson get a lovely squeeze, and he just managed to hold it compared to Lewis Bibby? He has done everything right, and they're both closing Cesare Rizzo once again. You can see Nathaniel Simpson looking to try and get himself through. Battle for fourth on circuit right now as they head into the hairpin. Of course, Nathaniel Simpson trying everything he can to make a way through. At the moment, it's not going to happen through NASCAR 3 and 4, and you can see now here Lorne Murray has dropped through the field like a stone. He's now dropped himself behind Kip Stevens, and here's Diogo Mero in that case as well. But we got to go back here to Simpson and Bibby, because Simpson's in the stream and he's going to go to the inside here on Lewis Bibby, down in towards turn number 1 on circuit, and he gets the move sorted. Very well done there from Nathaniel Simpson. He climbs up now into 4th position, and next to him's Cesare Rizzo, Conrad, and you have to say Simpson is doing everything he needs to right now.
He's driving very, very well. Him and Jack McIntyre definitely do standout drivers so far. But interestingly enough, just looking at that overtake on Lewis Bibby on that last lap, drivers seem very reluctant to go defensive and take the low line as they enter turn 1. And we've seen McIntyre and Simpson make it stick. Even Cesare Rizzo going into turn 1 has done a very good job of going down low and doing the overtake into turn 1.
Yes, very much so right now. Got to look at this 4-car train going on here between, that is, Kip the Hairflick Stevens, Lorne Murray, Diogo Mero, and Max Wright starting to fall a little bit behind on this one. Mero's got to make the moves. He's up in 8th right now. There are 2 cars who are out of this race technically at the moment. Jason Greenfield and Adam Hadfield right now. And what does have to be mentioned right now as they look even further forward is that Nathaniel Simpson's just got through on Cesare Rizzo into 3rd position. That one's crucial, but you got to look back at Diogo Mero, who's still looking to try to find a way through Lorne Murray, but still it's not quite happening here. It's not quite working out the way he would really want it, and it's really not the opportunity that Mero is being presented. It's just the fact that he can't do it.
Yeah, and it's going to be so frustrated right now because he'll see Pete Newman in 11th place, and the points difference between places when you run sort of from 8th down to 14th to 15th, there's only 1 point per place.
Oh, and he goes through on Lorne Murray, and he gets that next point, and he does exactly what he needed to do here, Conrad. It's almost as if the curse of the commentator's been reversed right now, because Mero now looking to try and push himself, but he's got to remember, he's got to stay defensive on Murray, who's looking at it. Not going to happen for the time being, but you have to look at the battle for your leaders as well, because you just look at Jack McIntyre's times. He does a 58.8 that time by, and that is stunning. It's one of his quickest laps to date at the moment in this race. And you look at Julian Janowski, he's done a 59.8. That's another second off, and that gap's coming down and will come down before it, as Max Wright here has just crashed into, I believe, Lorne Murray at turn 1. Let's get a replay up then of that one, and let's see, it was on the run down in towards turn number 1. We just seemed to miss it, but you can see Max Wright, oh, he just taps the back of him, and Lorne Murray, he gets himself on his side once, but twice, and Lorne Murray, now you have to say, is feeling the effect. He will surely be out of this one, and that is a shame, Conrad.
Yeah, looks like Murray wanted the outside going into the corner, and Wright wanted the inside, and they just crisscrossed, and kind of inevitable the way they were going in that one.
Melrose to the inside then, and he gets the position on Kip Stevens, and that's a stunning move down into turn number 1. Exactly what he needed to do, exactly to maintain a 3-car gap now to what is Pete Newman, and that is exactly what Diogo Mero needs to do. He is clawing his way back through the championship and scoring everything after a mediocre first half to the season here, Conrad. He is showing what he's made of right now.
Yeah, he's all of a sudden come alive in the second half of this race, and also towards the front, Jack McIntyre has closed up another second on Julian Janowski. That gap now under 2 seconds.
Oh, yes it is. You can see right now we've got a juicy final 5 minutes, and if Jack McIntyre can get this one, he'll be the first driver who has won the first 2 races of the night. No driver so far in the BSR Kia World Series has managed to get that feat, and he will join a very rare club of himself only right now as they head through turn 1. And you can see just how much easier Jack McIntyre has a time of it at the moment. Here's he heads through 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see the corners counting up and the time going less and less right now. But you got to look further back, because you got to look at Cesare Rizzo. He's got Diogo Mero there for company, and I don't know how much he'll be helping right now for his teammate Pete Newman, or will he side with Diogo Mero. It's just a case of how quickly will Diogo Mero pass him.
I think at this stage of the season, with the battle his teammates are in, I think Rizzo might just say, you know what, guys, we're going to fight for this one. There's not going to be any gifts given out.
No gifts at all. Well, Cesare Rizzo wants to prove his worth as well. Look at the gaps for the leaders as you cross the line. It will be 5 to go after this one, surely. And well, now you look at Jack McIntyre. He pulls in the gap even more. It's now to a second, and it's going to go even further down. It's going to be next to nothing as they head themselves through the left, now into the right. And now Janowski's going to be feeling the pressure. He's seen the time dwindle away, and now Jack McIntyre on the cusp of history in the BSR MSA Kia World Series, down into the brakes, into the 270-degree right-hander. He's looking for it, Conrad. He's really looking for it, and I don't think he's got it at the moment. He might set up for turn number 1, and you have to say he's doing everything he needs to do right now to cause panic.
Yeah, Janowski must have thought he had this one in the back with a 5-second lead, but that lead has disappeared extremely quickly. And thankfully, McIntyre's caught him with 4 laps to go, so we should be in for a great battle.
We should be indeed. Jack McIntyre then. We're going to stick with this one here as they keep themselves down in towards turn number 1. They come along, cross the stripe. They head, and well, down to the inside he looks. Oh, it was brave. It was almost too brave, but he has to wait for the time being. He's going to try and get that cutback opportunity. Janowski is doing everything right, playing the defensive game, as he should at the moment here in the battle for lead. Gap as they cross the line was just under 0.2 of a second, but you have to look further behind at the moment because Diogo Mero is through on Cesare Rizzo, if I'm correct. Yes, Cesare Rizzo has dropped a mile down the field and might even be a place known as out. Yes, he is. He's on pit road. So Cesare Rizzo has dropped the car, which has promoted both of those discoveries here as we look further back up the field to your race leaders again, Conrad, as they're going to head themselves through NASCAR 3 and 4.
And that gap is exactly as it was on the previous lap. Jack McIntyre is looking like he might get a better run onto the start-finish straight here. Janowski is going to go defensive again.
I do not blame him. There's a little tap of the wall actually there from Jack McIntyre on the right-hand side. Looks to the inside. Very defensive lines from both of them. No room being given. And this is what fighting's all about. 2 of the quickest guys in the BSR MSA are going at it hammer and tongs. And it's a stellar defensive effort here from Julian Janowski here. Down to the left. And now the right. You can see again he holds that inside line. He hugs it as if he doesn't want to let go. And you can see McIntyre getting frustrated in the cockpit right now. He really wants to find a way through, and he just can't at the moment. Dive for the inside for the race lead. Oh, and he tries to shut the door, and they hit each other. Oh my word! And still, Janowski tries to hold it, tries to cut the line, and he still holds on to the lead, Conrad.
I think McIntyre was very generous there. Slowed, limited the damage there, and gave Janowski the place back. Janowski just going down low, protecting that inside line for good measure. But yeah, 2 laps to go. We're going to see another lap like that, I think.
Oh, I don't want this one to end, and we got 2 laps left. Oh, this is fantastic between them. Right now, in towards turn number 1 and 2, they come along, and still, McIntyre's going to have to wait behind. This has been so spirited from Julian Janowski. We haven't seen a defense like this in a long time. But you have to say, if there is heart and soul in this BSR MSA, he is really showing his true colours as a racer right now. Gaps are starting to open up further behind. Melro in 5th doing everything he needs to. But we're going to stay with this one because there'll be 1 lap to go. After this, McIntyre another look to the inside down at the hairpin. But no, he's not going to have it this time by 1 more lap of your race to go when they turn NASCAR 3 and 4. And this is the fireworks we promised. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Jack McIntyre is showing everyone what he can potentially do right now. As you can see, final lap of your motor race. Janowski versus McIntyre. The independents versus the Bermuda down in towards turn number 1. Not quite close enough, but runs a little bit wider that time, does Jack McIntyre. Looking to try and get that run sorted here through the next corner. You can see just how much slower Janowski is through into 2, 3, 4. And now you can see just trying to run that gap. And you can see Janowski just running every apex perfectly into the next left-hander, which set up the big hairpin to the right. Looks to the outside as McIntyre still can't do it. Trying to get that run sorted. He's got one more opportunity, you have to say. And that one has to be the one down into this hairpin. I think he's too far back for a late lunge. No, he's not close enough here. He's not close enough here. Can he get the run here through the final corner? I doubt he can. So for Julian Janowski, this could be the time. Here as they head through NASCAR 3 and 4. It's brave. It's been spirited. McIntyre's charge has been one well worth seeing. But you have to say on the drag race to the line, Julian Janowski takes another race win and shows his class. What a race we have just seen! What a spirited fight! Simpson 3rd, Bibby 4th, Melrose 5th, and they're still fighting behind as Pete Newman and Roy Vervaeke go drag racing to the line. And how crucial is that? Oh my word! Roy Vervaeke just holds off Pete Newman.
Well, they managed to cross to the line in time. They've still got a lap left.
Oh my word, I might have just called this one a little bit wrong. And if I have, I do apologise here. I've done it once before. I'm going to do it again. 20 minutes and 1 second, just not enough here to call the end of the race. We said we wanted one more lap. And well, we're going to have another drag race to the line. And well, I don't mind that one at all here, because you look at this. Jack McIntyre now has the opportunity to avenge himself, has the inside line. Here we go. One more chance. Oh, they touch. Oh, they wiggle. Oh, they drive for the line. And it's going to be close. It's going to be super close as they drag race. Surely, who's got it? I can't call it. 1,000 says Janowski's got it. And McIntyre still can't win it. And it's still Julian Janowski. You can't write the script.
Oh, that is amazing. And what a last lap that was.
Oh, unbelievable. And Kip Stevens runs out over the line, trying to save himself there. Pete Newman gets another place as well. Shows the gap down to 2. Wow. What a race we have just seen. And I think Roy Vervaeke's crawling to the line here because he knows, and he really does know, that he got teammates behind and he wants to be at the front for the final race. Little bit cheeky, but that's racing at the end of the day. Final results then, as I called this one completely and utterly wrong, and I do apologise to everyone at home for that. It's the second time I've done it, but when you say 20 minutes, you should mean 20 minutes, but we said one more lap anyway. Julian Janowski holds off by 1,000th over Jack McIntyre. Nathaniel Simpson comes home 3rd with Lewis Bibby 4th. Diogo Mero 5th with Max Wright 6th there. There you can see in 7th is Pete Newman, who loses more points, hemorrhages even more. In 8th is Kip Stevens, 9th Judd Dankert, Roy Vervaeke there in 10th, Cesare Rizzo 11th, Adam Hadfield, Law Murray, Jason Greenfield fails to finish on the opening lap. What a race, Conrad.
Yeah, it's breathtaking stuff. I mean, we didn't think the racing around this track was going to be that close, but Janowski and McIntyre just proven us completely and utterly wrong in that one.
Yes, most certainly they were. And well, we're going to bring you a guy in. We're going to bring you the man who has recently just had his wife give birth, and that is Nathaniel Simpson. Nat, first of all, congratulations. If you're there. No worries, he's not there for the time being, but after this break, we're going to bring you the final race, and well, it's certainly going to be one to remember here, and maybe, just maybe, I might call the final lap correctly. Good night.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex in the outside contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even. Give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, then to your BSR MSA Kia World Series MSA, because we are sponsored by the British Motorsport Association, and we are very proud to have that link with us here in the Kia World Series. Of course, we got to remember we are sponsored by JCL to be faster, and also crest glazing for all your double glazing needs up in Scottish Highlands. And well, it's certainly been a fantastic race. We couldn't get you the interview earlier on, but we'll get it for you now. Nathaniel Simpson joining us alongside Nat. A great third place for you earlier on there, and it just showed that reverse grid surely does have its benefits.
Yes, it surely does. It was a bit fraught at the start on the first lap. I think I might have tagged someone. It might have been a Discovery car. I'm not too sure. But apologies for that. It wasn't intentional. But yeah, no, I'm really chuffed with that because literally tonight I was learning the track 5 minutes before qualifying, so the reverse grid helped to get that third place. But yeah, the more I'm practicing on the track, the quicker I'm going. So that's good.
Yes, most certainly. Overtaking very difficult around here. Are you looking to try and get yourself another result similar to that of what you've just got in that last race? Do you think that you can fight your way up through the field in a very similar fashion?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, there's I seem to be taking a slightly different line to some of the other guys. So and managed to get a couple of manoeuvres done based on that. So I won't say specifically what corners, but yeah, hopefully, yeah, another podium would be great.
Yes, very much so. And of course, a massive congratulations to you and your brand new child being brought into this world. And of course, for you, I guess that a podium is always pretty much dedicated to the brand new child. And well, just showing you exactly how quick you can be, even with limited practice, is just a way to push forward for Suzuka, surely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. A podium is definitely dedicated for my first child, Noah, and yeah, he might have encouraged me to go even quicker. So and just need to get him a seat alongside my seat so he can start learning the ropes early on.
Brilliant. Nathaniel Simpson then, he's just joined us. He's finished off in third position. We thank him very much for joining us. But Conrad, what a second race we just had. And even though I called the finish wrong because 20 minutes or 1 second, not enough time, 1.5 seconds to wave the white flag, you do have to say right now that is one of the closest finish we've ever seen.
Yeah, I think the only other finish we had that was this close was around Daytona, but that had a very long run down to the finish line. This not so much, and yeah, brilliant driving by both those drivers to not take each other out on that run down to the finish line. And we were so busy and excited about that finish that we completely forgot about everybody else finishing in that race.
Yeah, certainly. And well, why wouldn't we be? It was a fantastic finish to what was a brilliant race. And well, you've just seen Jack McIntyre's speed right now here, Conrad. He pulled in 5 seconds in the space of 10 minutes. That is no mean feat against a guy who has so many race wins to his name. Julian Janowski, if I'm correct, has just picked up another race win. I can't quite remember how much it is off the top of my head. Give me a second. I'll just find you the stat for you there. That was Julian Janowski's 8th race win of the season. It just shows you just how brilliant he could have been had he had been at those first 3 races.
Yeah, and that goes for both those guys. Janowski missing out on 3 races, and these wins would have put him right up there. The same goes for Jack McIntyre. First place in the first race, second place in the second, and still on average points. If he had been here all the way through, he would have been leading the whole series.
Yes, most certainly. And well, final race to go. Temperatures have hotted up around Phoenix right now. They've gone up a track temperature of 86 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Still a technically cold track, you could argue, but has to be said, Conrad, is for this final race, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it does make a difference. It's a whole handful of degrees, six degrees in centigrade, hotter than we've had in previous 2 races, and the driver's going to have to adapt very, very quickly. An interesting thing as well with how it finished in the first race is that Newman's lead has been cut to roughly about 13 points as well. So the race for the championship is getting hot as well.
Yes, most certainly it is. He didn't want that incident. This practice session is now over. We got 13 drivers all looking to grid. We'll see who has gridded themselves up where, and Lorne Murray will have pole position in the end over Adam Hadfield. Cesare Rizzo there on row 2, joined with Roy Viveka. Doug Dankert then will qualify 5th with Kip Stevens 6th. Pete Newman there in 7th with Max Wright 8th. Diogo Mero, championship fighter there in 9th with 10th place going to Lewis Bibby. Row 7 there, 6 even, you can see is Nathaniel Simpson and Jack McIntyre. Julian Janowski at the back of the grid, just waiting for one driver to get himself up there and sorted, and that, if I'm correct, is going to be the car of Roy Vervaeke himself. Of course, 1 minute to grid up. He's the only car we're waiting for, but this has been a fantastic second race, and it's going to be a stunning final one as well. You can see every car on the grid. You can see them revving their engines, looking to get ready. Here we go. Lights on. Lights out. Here we are. This is the final race of the night, and already Adam Hadfield with a stormer. Pete Newman with a stellar start as they head towards turn number 1, and already contact, and that's Cesare Rizzo, and I think he just tagged the car of Pete Newman as well, and that is not ideal at all into turn number 1. Discovery in trouble. Janowski took the wrong route into turn number 1, and already you can see the fights and scraps starting to show up. Battle for second, and there's contact there, and now Kip Stevens getting a tap with Lorne Murray as well. It's all kicking off here, Conrad.
Yeah, Lorne Murray is, looks like he's stranded. Pete Newman taking a little tap on the start as well, and Kip Stevens taking no prisoners through that fast left-hander.
Certainly not, but look at Jack McIntyre now fighting Diogo Mero, and that is not what Mero wants. He wants to be gaining positions, not losing them. Pete Newman is starting to fly, but now you can see they're going to be side by side for NASCAR 3 and 4. Adam Hadfield's out in the way at the moment. We'll see if he can keep himself together. He's been almost a ghost so far here today, and now you can see to the inside. Oh, they almost touch. Melrose and McIntyre, they almost touched, and now Nathaniel Simpson wanting a piece of the action as they head down the front straightaway, heading towards turn number 1. Simpson to the inside, and Melrose going backwards, Conrad, and his race and his championship is starting to fade here at Phoenix Road.
And this is exactly what he didn't want for the third race of the night. If he doesn't make up any positions here, and Pete Newman stays where he is, or even makes up places, all the work that he's done so far tonight could be undone.
Yeah, we just seen there the race leader Adam Hadfield get a massive slide through the left-hander. It's meant now that that 1 second gap has gone to Roy Vervaeke, and now Vervaeke will be waiting patiently behind in order to get himself a chance at a first race win. Hadfield, I believe, doesn't have a race win under his belt, and the answer is no, he doesn't in 30 races. So you are seeing here the cream of the crop who haven't got it so far right to the top. Kip Stevens is third, and he doesn't have a race win either. So Conrad, you have to say, it is really starting to suggest that we have some really close racing as you look at Jack McIntyre here and Joe Dankert side by side. Dankert has to drop the position, McIntyre already chasing.
Yeah, and he's doing a very good job of it. He's just clearing Dankert now. I mean, they all came together as they came onto the oval, and McIntyre was really in danger there of losing spots instead of gaining some.
Yeah, most certainly. You could see Jack McIntyre now just starting to stretch his legs a little bit. Dankert there. Oh, he almost took a tap out of him. Took a bitey meat there out of the chunk of Jack McIntyre. Bitey meat, a meaty bite. Oh, well, you can see right now exactly what's going on here. As you can see, Joe Dankert now having to go defensive. Oh, he almost took the chunk out again. And Nathaniel Simpson behind, trying to use it as a marker. Loses out in the end. And here comes Diogo Mero now, trying to salvage it. He is trying to get himself up a position, trying to go the high line. High line's not going to work. He's going to have to drop to the low line here. And you can see if the track's not rubbered in, it's not going to work for Joe Dankert here. As you look at Mero to the inside, contact between the two as they run down the front straightaway. Little bit of a door-to-door rub, but for the time being, you can say we apologise for the technical difficulties, but we're back again, we promise, here in your BSR MSA Kia World Series here. This is the scrap in the final race here.
And fighting it around the hip and just behind them. Another man who's been up against it for the entire race is Diego Malro, who's got Simpson and Julian Janowski all over the back of him. He can't really afford to lose any more places.
No, he's 3 seconds off the back of Max Wright, and he can't afford for anything to do. The only thing he can hope for is that Kip Stevens and Max Wright start fighting Mr. Newman in order to try and pull himself in. You can see right now here as we're heading up towards the halfway stage in your race right now, a big mistake there from Kip Stevens, which is going to allow Max Wright the opportunity to attack, but it's not quite materialised in that respect. But look at Jack McIntyre. He is trying everything to haul himself back. He's on the podium right now. And well, Roy Vervaeke is a driver who knows all about winning, but not here. And he's got Adam Hadfield, a driver who hasn't tasted a win either. They might get it robbed from Jack McIntyre, but you really don't want to see that happen, especially if you are a Cymru fan or a Euro fan.
See, but how quickly did McIntyre drop the pack behind him and close up to Vervaeke and Hadfield? When they're going to have a real job on their hands to keep him behind. I mean, the guy's on an absolute charge tonight.
Yes, he is. McIntyre is a man possessed. He was 1.3 seconds faster than your race leader last time by. Hadfield across the line 1 minute 0.2. McIntyre does a 59.1. He's within 1 second right now as they head themselves down towards turn number 1. McIntyre's flying and nobody can stop him at all right now. Newman there in 4th can't do anything, trying to get some more points as Lewis Bibby gets a massive slide and almost takes the back of Janowski out of the equation. Right now, Diogo Melro, he's going to lose himself 1, 2, 3 places, and he doesn't want that at all. But now you got to look at Jack McIntyre. He's all over the back of Roy Vervaeke.
Surely it can't be long before he's going to make this move stick. And like we've seen before, he's going to try the cutback as they come through the hairpin.
Isn't going to materialise as they head themselves for NASCAR 3 and 4 right now. Jack McIntyre is sensing the opportunity here as they've all gone high, but now you can see Roy Vervaeke goes low. They've both got to do the defensive job, but a better run through the second half has meant that they're going to go side by side, push to the inside, but Jack McIntyre loses all momentum and Vervaeke holds off on second for the time being. It's tight on the brakes. They're all just trying to wear it down as much as they can. Look for the race leader. Oh, they get so close they almost touch. Oh, this is sensational. We've only just hit the second half of the race, and now you look at Jack McIntyre. You look, he's trying to run it around the outside, and he runs too wide, and he hits the slowdown, and here comes Pete Newman here, Conrad.
And what Pete Newman's seeing in front of him will be making him very happy watching the podium spots at the moment battle it out. That just gives him the opportunity to close right up to them.
You know who else it gives an opportunity for? It gives an opportunity for Diogo Melro to bring the second group back into play. We now have a train of 6 here at the battle for your race lead right now. Adam Hadfield, the Cymru driver, leading the train at the moment as they head themselves into the left-hander right now of NASCAR 3 and 4 for once again what will be the 11th time tonight. Roy Vervaeke has been looking all race long but hasn't found it. You have to say here, Conrad, Roy Vervaeke has tried everything and he runs wide and he gets a slide, and does he hold it? Yes, but he loses it to McIntyre, and now Hadfield's exposed. Hadfield now in trouble because the fastest man in the field is now sitting right behind his shoulders.
Yeah, and Vervaeke is going to come under pressure from Pete Newman as well.
Oh, that pressure told Conrad as they head themselves into the right-hander. Here, Pete Newman is just sitting there, pretty, waiting, looking to try and build up that lead that has been chipped away again by Diogo Melro through the opening 2 races. And now you have to feel for Adam Hadfield here. He doesn't have any buffer. He's now got to play the defensive game for 8 minutes of this motor race. And it is so difficult to do. It is so understated when the guy behind you is a second a lap quicker. You can see here, he's got to play defensive here as they head towards turn number 1. I don't think Jack McIntyre is quite close enough this time by. He might have a little late look. No. Backs out of it, but now has a little look into the second part of the corner. Now across into the wall goes Hadfield, and he ruins his race as he heads back onto the main circuit. It's all gone wrong, and now you must say the leader of your race surely is Jack McIntyre, and Jack McIntyre's done it all perfect.
Yeah, he hasn't put a foot wrong all evening. I can't see him doing it in the last 7.5 minutes of this race. Surely he's the favourite for the win now, and the other 2 podium spots is up for grabs as well.
Yeah, the other 2 podium spots all about Roy Vervaeke versus Pete Newman. Vervaeke thought he had a great chance, but no, not with Jack McIntyre. Both cars run a little bit wide down at the hairpin, and now the battle for second starting to heat up. Newman and Vervaeke then together on circuit, and this one is going to promise. But look at the gap already. That's 1 lap. You can see 1 second has just been taken out by Jack McIntyre. He's on another planet, Conrad, and he looks certain now, unless he makes a mistake, to go take a memorable race win.
So how frustrating does that have to be for the other 12 guys in this race, just to see somebody and who shows them and he makes it look so easy?
Yes, most certainly.
Oh,
Pete Newman outside contact. There, they're going to hold it, but they keep it together and they keep the places. but here comes Kip Stevens. That could have ended like a toddler's tantrum, all in tears, but it didn't. It ended up with Pete Newman still holding on, but it allows 2 more drivers to enter the party in the battle for second place, Conrad.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Max Wright has been lurking back there for most of the race. And yeah, you can just wait for him to bounce on a mistake, as he's going to look to do now, as Kip Stevens runs up the back of Roy Verweke.
Yes, he does, and where you can see right now just how close things are going to be. Diogo Mauro has just lost a position to Nathaniel Simpson. That is exactly not what he wants here, as the battle for second place hots up with Pete Newman in second and Diogo Mauro back in 7th. He is going to need a few miracles to happen, possibly at Suzuka. He's going to need some very good race results in order to survive the championship, but you have to say right now, Pete Newman is sitting a little bit more pretty here compared to Roy Verweke. Roy's been struggling so far here. We've seen the contact already, Conrad, and now with the final 6 minutes starting to head up, it's just not quite working out at the moment for him.
Yeah, it's kind of a snowball effect that we see week in and week out. Guys have a good race and then just a touch here and there, and things start going wrong, and at some point it's going to go horribly wrong. Hopefully Verweke can avoid that, and we've seen him in the past be a very strong driver.
Yes, most certainly. We hope that it's not going to be a series of unfortunate events, but you have to say right now the gap's starting to open up a little bit. Kip Stevens still has Max right there, keeping him company, making sure that things aren't going to just end the way that they shouldn't do. In towards turn number 1 they come along. Into the infield section they go, and where you can see another little look to the inside goes Max Wright. He does have the inside, which turns to the outside for the next corner. No, not going to happen for the time being. Has to wait behind, does Max Wright. We have a couple of cars a lap down now. We have Adam Hadfield a lap down. We have Jurg Danker and Cesare Rizzo on pit road. They are out. Murray is a lap down at the moment, but this motor race at the moment is far from finished here for this battle between Max Wright and Kip Stevens. Kip Stevens, he still doesn't have a race win, and he's a 2-time Pro Series champion. Is it a case of he's lost his speed, or is it a case that everyone's picked up as he runs wide and Max Wright bumps doors as they head themselves down to NASCAR 3 and 4? Move done.
Yeah, Max Wright through there, and yeah, to answer your question, I think this has been a very, very competitive series. We've seen various people run up front very comfortably. I think it's just been very difficult to pick up race wins consistently around here.
Yes, very much so, and you've got to remember here that Kip Stevens is no slouch. They head themselves down in towards turn number 1 once again. Yet again, he runs very wide this time, and Nathaniel Simpson now has a little bit of a look, and any further positions drop will allow Diogo Mauro back into the fray, back into the picture, and that is exactly not what Pete Newman wants, but Pete Newman can't do anything about it right now. Here, as you can see, these cars are all just driving themselves around, sitting pretty, sitting comfortable. But Kip Stevens right now, he's not sitting pretty. He's got Nathaniel Simpson behind him.
Yeah, we've seen Simpson put in a strong drive all night as well. And I'm sure he would love another podium to dedicate to his newborn son. And in order to do that, he'll have to make short work of Kip Stevens here.
Yes, he's going to try and do it for Noah, most certainly, and where you can see here, we've seen a couple of Noah's Arks moments here when they've gone 2 by 2, but Nathaniel Simpson right now, sitting pretty on the back of Kip Stevens here, looking to reel in that slipstream here, that effect as they head towards turn number 1. Oh, he clips the wall! Stevens has hit the wall, and that is not ideal. He took too much out the corner, and now he drops himself down the field, and that might be a race killer.
Oh, it's certainly going to be a position killer. I think he has decided that enough is enough. I think I just saw somebody run around the oval.
Yeah, that is Kip Stevens who's done that, and I think he says that's going to be enough. It will grant him a stop-and-go penalty as well. That is the end of Kip Stevens' run. He is done, finished, nada, and he will be very, very upset with that one, as you can see him drop onto pit road, and he is done for the evening. But what this has done is allowed Diogo Mauro to climb 1 more place. He is now into 6th right now as things stand, and that is exactly what he needed here. He needs to try and salvage some points, and that gap that'll increase, just be a little bit less, Conrad.
Yeah, and all this fighting that we've seen the last couple of laps has just spread everything out a little bit. Nobody is in a direct fight all of a sudden, and hopefully this one won't teeter out in the last 2 laps or so, as we saw in race 1.
You just get the feeling here, Conrad, that it might just do that. The gaps have opened up. We don't see any real fights developing. It's just that case of the holding pattern, the rhythm that's only just coming in. The only advantage is Jack McIntyre, when he'll come across the line, hopefully will go on to his last lap. We will check again to see if he does. Double check this time. We promise we won't call the last lap wrong again, but you have to remember Jack McIntyre is flying and he has to cruise, you have to say right now, because he has done everything he so richly deserves to have done tonight. He has flown away from everyone. He is showing the class that he has shown again and again and again, as he has Jörg Danker ahead of him right now, heads himself through the right, heads himself through the left. And well, if you're going to win races by this, it doesn't matter if it's a minute or a mile, because Jack McIntyre heads himself around the right-hander right now. He's going to have himself not long left now here as he can cruise to the line. He can wait for that white flag to be waved. It might be waved now. This might be the last lap. We might have one more to go. We're just going to check as they cross the line soon. But I think Jack McIntyre might just be on his final lap. I think Jack McIntyre has just proven to the world why he is an incredibly quick driver. We know he's a world record holder around the Nürburgring Nordschleife. This was the final lap. This is it. Jack McIntyre wins the 3rd one of the night. He wins it at Phoenix Road, and he shows everyone what he could have been, that he could have been a champion. Newman, championship leader 2nd, Vervaeke 3rd, Wright 4th, Simpson and Diogo Mauro. Diogo Mauro will kick himself because he has dropped all the work that he possibly did tonight, and now he needs to regroup and regather. He's got 3 races left at the land of the rising sun, Conrad.
Yeah, what better place to end the series as well, and plenty of overtaking opportunities around Suzuka, and he's going to have to do it there. This finish 6th place in any other week, that wouldn't be a bad finish. But as things stand, it's really a race that he could have finished better in to improve his championship chances.
Yes, most certainly. Right now, we're going to grab yourself a quick driver interview, and joining us right now is the championship leader, the guy who finished 2nd, Pete Newman. Pete, 2nd place is always a great result, but Jack McIntyre, as soon as he got past, he romped away.
Yeah, mate, I had damage from the first corner. Like when Ches span, unfortunately I wasn't able to get out of the way, so like I had left corner damage, front wheel and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of nursing that. Was happy behind Kit, but then he decided he'd like to play, and that made it very interesting. So yeah, very happy to come away with 2nd, considering the evening, I guess.
Yes, most certainly, and well, for you retain the Drivers' Championship right now, and you retain the advantage heading in towards Suzuka, which I believe, if I'm correct, is one of your favourite tracks.
Yeah, love Suzuka. I don't know, it just flows really nicely. Maybe not necessarily in the Kia, but in high downforce cars, it's amazing. But yeah, it's a great track, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, most certainly. Now, the rumour coming in is that you have the potential to miss maybe 1 race, maybe 2 races, maybe the whole thing, due to external influences, which you can't really help, of course. If you do miss one of these races, do you feel that you had the potential to win the championship but not get the chance to do it at all? Or are you going to be in a position where you're not going to be too disheartened if you don't get to race one of the races?
No, obviously, like, yeah, it'd be awesome to win this championship, but if real life stuff comes up, it's my cousin's wedding. I haven't seen him for a year or 2, so it's going to be interesting. But I know the wedding's going to be on early in the night, and it's not that far from my house, so yeah, probably should be able to get back for maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 races. We'll see.
We'll see indeed there. That is Pete Newman there, the number 10 Discovery driver there, coming home in 2nd place and keeping his championship alive. But that has been it for your motor racing tonight. A huge thank you to Conrad Venter, a huge thank you to Samuli Kumo behind the cameras, and well, 3 races to go here on iRacing Live on Apex Racing TV of the BSR MSA Kia World Series, and you're seeing it. It's gonna come down to a title decider. Good night.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing,